guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for choosing my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so that YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. If you guys could, share my videos and share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started, today's me Monday, March 20th. This is going to be a jam-packed update. So we had ISO20022 update go out. We're going to talk about that, how it affected the markets. We're going to talk about a little bit of the U.S. news that's going on that could impact our financial markets, as well as towards the end of the video, we're going to speculate where Ripple's going to be heading versus, in its case, versus the SEC. There's a lot of information that just came out today, so we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Getting started, the total market cap for all cryptocurrencies right now is $1,155 billion. This is a 0.67% decrease. So if we took yesterday and today, we're at a 0% because we're roughly about the same right now. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $27,744. Ethereum is trading at $1,743, and XRP is trading at 38.6 cents. So overall, we didn't see XRP launch like a lot of people expected. I was kind of indifferent on what was going to happen. You know, there's the whole slogan, buy the rumor, sell the news. Obviously, a lot of people did not sell the news with the ISO coins for XRP at least. It kind of just remained stagnant where it was yesterday. Getting into our biggest gainers on the day, one of the ISO coins, XDC, did pump. It's up 21%. This is a great coin in my opinion. Again, no financial advice. It did pump 21%, so it could drop down a little bit as people start getting some profits. I'm in it long term though, and this is a coin that I do like. It's a shame to see VeChain go down 6%, but overall, you know, the market's going to be going down and up. It just fluctuates. But getting into the biggest gainers, XTC is up 21%, Hex is up 13%, and FTT, the FTX token's up 7%. The reason why I think this one's up 7% is just because it was down yesterday by quite a bit. But overall, the majority of coins are going to be in the red today. But if you guys bought in the week, you guys are still up. XDC is up 41.8% on the week. That's good to see. So if you guys are in XDC, congratulations. You guys are up some decent money. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, Belgium to require all cryptocurrency ads to state the only guarantee in crypto is risk. And that's with anything in life. You know, you guys go out in a car, trying to travel to the grocery store, pick up some food. You know, you take a risk of getting into a car accident. Everything in life has a risk, whether it's keeping your guys' money in investments, if it's keeping money in the banks, or just taking a daily drive. This one was really interesting. Amazon to fire 9,000 employees. That was kind of interesting to see, especially with a big company like Amazon still reaping in massive profits, going to lay off 9,000 employees. We're going to go ahead and talk about this here in a second and speculate on it. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis calls to ban central bank digital currencies. This is kind of indifferent for me. If central bank digital currencies do come out, obviously cryptocurrency prices are going to increase drastically, but he wants to ban them because basically the federal government and then all central banks will have a massive more control already on your money that you already have. With central bank digital currencies, they have access to them in a sense. If it's located in the banking institutions, because technically they'll have the keys to the crypto. Because there's always a slogan also that it's not your keys, not your crypto. And that's why a lot of people like myself tell you guys to make sure that you guys do get a cold storage wallet. The Ledger, in my opinion, is the best. Not promoted by anyone. I do like the Ledger the best, though. Getting into some more news, though. White House says President Biden has confidence in Fed Chair Jerome Powell. So on the 22nd is when the Fed is going to release its interest rate hikes. If they are going to, the speculation is still 25 basis points or 0.02 or 0.2% increase. Time's only going to tell what's going to happen, but that's what I do think. And the reason why I think that is because if the Fed doesn't do this, then if interest or inflation gets a little bit more out of hand, then at least they took a stance and said that at least we tried. If they don't, and then it fails, they're going to have to interest rate hike even higher, which will hurt the markets and hurt the American people even more than it already has. U.S. explores measures to guarantee all bank deposits if crisis grows. Obviously, it's just going to be printing more money. And, you know, obviously we all know that's bad for inflation. Getting into some real world news, though, Kevin McCarthy's talking about President Trump, or former President Trump, possibly getting arrested. He comes out in this speech. You guys can watch this in its entirety. It's 54 seconds. In the comments, everything that I talk about is going to be posted in the comments. All the links are. But he comes out and says it doesn't matter if President Trump or it's a Democrat. Our justice system should not be used to target political opponents, period. And I 100% agree with this. Whether it's former President Trump, whether it's any other Republican or any Democrat, whatever the person is, you shouldn't use political agendas to basically tarnish somebody's name. There's not a lot of evidence. They haven't come out with the evidence. They just want to arrest individuals like President Trump, put them into trial, tarnish their names, and then say, oops, my bad, when they don't win in court. This is really interesting too, because breaking still barricades are being unloaded outside Manhattan's criminal courthouse. So there's speculation that he could have been arrested today. President Trump, I talked about yesterday in my video that said that possibly not going to happen on Monday, but Tuesday or Wednesday are the days that they think that this is going to happen. And obviously, if they're putting up these barricades, they're in talks to be doing that, because why would they be putting up steel barricades in front of the courthouse? We talked about Amazon laying off 9,000 employees, and they also already laid off 18,000 employees. And the reason why I think that a lot of this is happening is because I think the government is trying to figure this out, because if unemployment gets worse, what they can do is they can start lowering the interest rate. So I always talk about this, but in one of the meetings, Fed Chair Jerome Powell was asked a question about bringing the unemployment down, and they want to bring unemployment down to the 2% in the long run. And in this meeting, I haven't been able to find the video again. I think the video has been posted in one of my other videos. We did talk about it, but for this to happen, unemployment needs to be at about 9 to 10%. So right now, where unemployment's at an all-time low, but basically they're laying off individuals from their jobs in a sense to bring inflation down, which in turn will bring interest rates down. And that's the way that they're going to do it. They're going to start laying off people. So now they have to be relying on the government. And then what's going to happen is interest rates are going to go down because they need money into the markets. So it's kind of interesting. I would do your guys' own research on this to get a little bit more information on it. Pentagon to announce another $350 million military aid for Ukraine. So we already have a super bad banking crisis right now, especially here in the United States, with Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank going down. They're trying to figure out how they're going to ensure those deposits. We just talked about from Watcher Guru that they're still exploring other opportunities and other interests to figure out how to make sure that all those deposits, or if other banks fail, to ensure those deposits. Yet we're going to send another $350 million in military aid to another country, which we've already sent massive amounts of money to. I don't know the top number off the top of my head, but it's a lot of money. It's in the billions. Getting into some more news too, President Biden authorizes declassification of COVID-19 origin intelligence. And the reason why he's doing this is because there's already been a bill that's been passed by the House of Representatives. It would have gone through the Senate, and then he would have had to veto it. Then it would have got brought back down to the House to override the veto. I think that Biden knew that this was going to happen, and essentially his veto would have been overturned. So he's just going to go ahead and say, this is what I did for you guys. I want you guys to have the information. If he really wanted us to have the information, it wouldn't have taken the House of Representatives, which are now Republican run, to pass a bill for this to happen, for him to be able to come out and say this. There's a lot of information that's been dodged, a lot of questions that haven't been answered, and hopefully they're not redacted. But this guy right here, Joe Doe, ends up saying that everything's going to be redacted in a sense, and everything's going to be black. So this is the document that we're going to see. He does this as a joke, obviously, but in my opinion, this is what I do see. We're going to see a redaction. It's not going to have all of the information that it's supposed to have. Right here, Charlie Kirk comes out and says Jim Jordan, James Conner, and Brian Steele of the House Judiciary Committee are demanding communication documents and testimonies from Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg related to his reported upcoming indictment of President Trump. So this is really important, because as the federal government, is our White House in cahoots with the Manhattan DAs and trying to get President Trump's name tarnished. And then now hopefully we see some sort of documents that either prove this or disprove this. But this is really good to see. This is also interesting. This is day 48, where Elizabeth Warren hasn't been able to explain the emails in which she goes to the SEC and basically gives them the list of questions that she is going to ask them in court, or not in court, but in a committee. And then also a list of answers that she would like to be received from them so that she knows the questions and then the answers that they're going to give. So basically, it looks like she's doing her job, and then that the SEC knows exactly what they're going to do and how to answer the questions properly. So then she can either in turn ask a follow up question, which they already have the answer to, or in a sense to make it look like she did her job. Now, why is it important that this is being asked? It's because she should not be asking the SEC or giving them the information prior to the testimony in front of the committees. So it's really interesting. Day 48. Hopefully, somebody has answers for us soon. So we talked about the ISO launch going to happen today. So it basically ran smoothly. There was one little hiccup that got figured out after a couple of hours, and ISO went through. Now, the ISO coins didn't do essentially as good as they wanted to, but there's also that talk, buy the rumor, sell the news. So if we look at our ISO coins, XLM was down 1.73%, HBAR was down 5.48, Quant, Algo, all these coins were down. But in a sense, the market in a sense dropped on its own. So Bitcoin did drop below from where it was yesterday. In a sense, it's rebounded, but the buy the rumor, sell the news, in a sense, didn't actually play out here. So that's why I do think that the ISO coins are going to be popular later on. Obviously, as more use case happens, the price of these coins are going to go up. So as these coins get added to the ISO messaging systems for finances, so as banks and other retailers pick up these coins and use them inside transactions, that's when these prices of coins will rise, in my opinion. This was really interesting. John Deaton comes out and says, I'm hoping Judge Torres was already very aware of the ruling by Judge Wales in the bankruptcy court of the Southern District of New York in the Voyager bankruptcy. Bill Morgan comes out and says it's probably the other way around too. Judge Wiles likely read or knew about certain decisions of Judge Torres and Netburn before his Voyager decision. He seemed to know what he was dealing with the SEC's attitude on crypto. Jeremy Hogan comments, and this is the reason why that I saw this, is because I do follow Jeremy Hogan. I also follow Bill, but Jeremy Hogan's stuff pops up a lot more on my feeds. And he says, good observation. He seemed to catch on to the game very quickly, because we know that the SEC has been playing games in courts, basically running a mockery of their grasp overreach of power. So this was really great to see. Getting into some more news right here, it's really quite arrogant of the SEC to have rocked up the court before Judge Wiles having never concluded VGX is a security to oppose the Binance US deal for Voyager. So Binance wanted to come in and buy Voyager's assets. The SEC basically tried to stop that from happening by filing a motion to stop it. And then in this, it says the SEC has been aware that the VGX tokens for some time. It has not even reached a conclusion of its own as to whether it is a security, let alone taken action to stop trading of the token. So basically, the SEC has no clue what they're talking about. They're just filing motions in hopes that the court sides with them. This was also really interesting for Coinbase to come out and give this get basically a commercial, I would say you would call this. It says, what if sending money around the globe was as fast as sending an email? It's time that we update our system. So in this video, it basically just has a bank person going up to a teller and the communications are super slow. And then right here, Coinbase says, update the system. John Deaton says, no offense, but wasn't this Ripple's and Brad Garlinghouse's ad campaign 5 years ago? So there's a lot of speculation right now. And John Deaton has come out and speculated that the court case is going to end soon. So he says that he predicted over a year ago that Judge Torres will rule in favor of Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson for their own two independent lawsuits. So then this guy JV says, so question, why would Judge Torres even consider sending this case to trial when regulators don't even know how to treat what crypto is, let alone XRP? John Deaton, how can a jury conclude anything dealing with this case? And John Deaton says, well, what's very interesting is Ripple argued fair notice is a factual issue for a jury. The two executives are a different thing because a higher standard applies to them because of the aiding and abetting charge. The judge could find that no reasonable jury could find recklessness exists. The case against Ripple is a strict Section 5 case. Did Ripple sell XRP as an investment contract? The judge could grant the two executive summary judgment, but let the jury decide on the fair notice unless she believes no reasonable jury could find against Ripple. So this is really interesting. It's just speculation, though, what's going to happen. Eleanor Charette, she's huge into the XRP case. She's with Fox Business. She says, what a coinky dink, just finished writing an article about Ripple versus the SEC case. on the train to DC. I walk off the platform in Union Station to see this. So this is just another ad that just got posted for Crypto Means Business, and this is Ripple's. Another one right here, XRP faster than Usain Bolt got posted up. John Deaton comes out and speculates that it could happen by the end of the week. So I would highly encourage you guys to watch this video. It's 8 minutes and 54 seconds. It has a lot of useful information on John Deaton's perspectives and why he thinks that the case could end this week. Now, it's just speculation, though. James K. Filan says that by the 31st of March is when he thinks it could. Eleanor Trett also says, for those that are not in the XRP community, if Judge Torres comes back with a decision on summary judgment in the Ripple case this week, one of these three things could happen. So she could side with Ripple, she could side with the SEC, or she could decide that the case should go to trial. Obviously, those are the only real three things that could happen with this case. Now, Crypto Law comes out and says, notice on the supplementary authority to Judge Torres is for Ripple regarding the recent bankruptcy ruling of Voyager Installments. John Deaton says, I'm hoping Judge Torres was already well aware of the ruling by Judge Wales and basically can use this in her case. If Judge Torres is the ongoing working draft for her decision, criticizes the SEC approach and inconsistent behavior / attitudes toward digital assets, she can cite the Voyager ruling as further corroborative evidence of her criticism. I predicted this over a year ago that Judge Torres would rule in favor of Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. So this was really interesting, and that I'm hoping that Judge Torres does use the Voyager bankruptcy case in her ruling, because obviously the SEC couldn't figure out if Voyager token was used as a security or not when they filed the motion to stop the deal and made a mockery of the court. So hopefully she does see that and does use that. Eleanor Trett also says that she asked the source at one of the big crypto exchanges of his thoughts on what's going on in the industry right now. And his response says, while the whole industry is happy to finally see a more definitive decoupling of the traditional market, there is very little time for celebration. Most of US-based projects and investors are scrambling to plan for their move abroad, while the global platforms are working to vet non-USD stablecoin projects. A lot has been done to prepare for the next bull market, whether that's today or a year from now. So there's speculation on what's going to happen. If this case does end, there is speculation that the XRP token at least would be considered a non-security, and it would reach all-time highs of about $3.84. Now, it's all speculation. There's nothing for sure that's going to say that this is going to happen. But the rest of the crypto market will still technically be in, I guess, an unweary state of where it actually lies with the SEC, if it's considered a security or not a security. But if any other coin does get sued as a security, basically they could use Ripple and the XRP tokens lawsuit as precedent in arguing that the SEC did not come at them first with fair notice defense, or as well as basically they had no clue and they still haven't come up with any regulatory framework on what's going on. This is where I talk about this is speculation, and a lot of people talk about, well, where's XRP going to go? Where's cryptocurrency going to go? And basically you have to do your guys' own, I guess, research and basically analyze the markets and basically speculate on your own, because it's, in a sense, you guys invest at your guys' own risks. So this guy, Crypto Asset Guy, says Ethereum's market cap is $250 billion at $1,750. XRP's market cap is $19 billion at 38 cents. Let's say when the lawsuit ends and XRP reaches half of the current Ethereum market cap, which is 107 billion, at $2.10. And I'm being conservative because a lot of people think that it's going to go up to $3.84, which in a sense is close to the market cap, when it might be about $4 for the price of an XRP token. This guy calculated risk says I had 87 billion in 2017 and was almost at $4. And Crypto Asset Guy says that there's less supply, and that's true. There is less supply. So there was less supply in 2017 than there is now. That's because Ripple technically has a lot of XRP tokens in escrow, and that's part of the reason why they're being sued as a security. Because in a sense, Ripple can basically unlock tokens in a predetermined amount at a predetermined time. So it's all been scheduled. You guys can look at the ways that Ripple does release the tokens. They actually have those dates listed. But with that, there's more supply now because Ripple's been selling their tokens in a sense to pay for their lawsuit that's been going on right now. So it's interesting to see. Bill Morgan also comes out and says there's a lot of people who've been saying that XRP price is about to break out for weeks. The truth is that it's been flat about for 35 to 40 cents for about 4 months, while Ethereum and Bitcoin have steadily increased in their prices. The XRP to Bitcoin chart shows that the fall of XRP price against Bitcoin. So if you guys have been invested in the markets, whether it's been in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, or any other token, Bitcoin has been the highest gainer recently, as well as Ethereum. And the reason why is XRP is still in a lawsuit. So basically, Mikkel comes out and says XRP always lags behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, which in a sense that it does. Bitcoin basically runs the markets. As Bitcoin's price goes up, everything else slowly follows after. Everyone jumps on ship and then boom, parabolic rip. I would love to know why XRP moves the way that it does. Very unusual. Bill responds, it does not concern me, but the narrative that XRP just moves with the market is misleading. In the last couple of weeks, XRP price has moved up marginally when Bitcoin increased in price and moved down when Bitcoin was moved down, but moved up at a lower rate and down at a greater rate. And the reason why that it's moving up and down at a slower rate, in my opinion, is again because it's still in its case with the SEC. And this is where I always want to tell you guys is you guys always need to follow and to listen to individuals who basically are transparent. So this guy, Rob Art, no offense to him, but he comes out and says, amusing people don't listen when it's time to listen. I guess I'll see you guys again when it's time to sell and you're buying because you're watching a YouTube channel with 1 million followers who tells you it's time to buy. And I'm making a vlog on a yacht telling you I sold. And basically, he's trying to use fear and propaganda and FUD into the markets, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and basically tell you guys that you guys should panic buy now because the price could go up. I tell you guys that the price could go up or it could go down. So you guys need to invest at your guys' own risk. But basically saying that he's going to get super rich on a yacht and make a video that says, I told you so, when he's on a yacht and basically you guys are buying at a super high price, that's not really for him to say. Jeremy Hogan says, help me out. Should I buy or sell right now? Question mark, confused in Florida. And this is really interesting because he comes out and basically just makes a mockery of it. I do think that, he wants to, make a little bit of a joke at it. But in a sense, you guys know when you guys can afford to take risks. If you guys can't afford to take risks, don't buy into the markets. This is really interesting, and this is what I want to talk about right here. Ripple defendants filed letter of notice of supplemental authority in further support of their fair notice defense. It's the decision of Judge Wiles in the Voyager bankruptcy case, where Judge Wiles rejected the SEC's objections and approved the bankruptcy plan. Jeremy Hogan says Ripple finally filed the Voyager bankruptcy judge decisions. The judge uses abnormally strong language, stating that the U.S. regulators themselves cannot even agree on what criteria to use in deciding whether crypto is a security of fair notice. We are getting close. XRP Crypto Wolf says, didn't James K. Filan predict that this would get summary judgment before April? What was Jeremy's prediction? And he says he predicted last week. Obviously, he's an idiot. He makes a joke about it. He did predict last week, but obviously it didn't come true. Filan said before the 31st, so that's what I said earlier in the video. Deaton said anytime from last week up through mid-April. So we're going to go ahead and see if James K. Filan's right or Deaton's right. Deaton also did predict today that it's going to happen this week. I'm going to say that I think that it's going to happen with James K. Filan, but I've also thought that it could happen a lot sooner than this, and I didn't think this lawsuit was going to drag out for 2.5 years. This is really awesome that Bill Morgan says that, thanks, James. Some Judge of Wiles comments did read like a summary judgment on fair notice defense. So if you guys want to, you guys can read this. It's going to be listed down below. This is really awesome to see, though, that David Schwartz did comment to this. So for those of you guys that don't know, he is the CTO at Ripple. He says, page 25 is amazing. Mr. Asman, I'll keep my comment to just one point then. The court says, okay, just to make sure it's clear. So you mentioned that the excluded parties could not be liable for fines, penalties, or damages. I think it needs to be more broader. It needs to have any civil or criminal liability. I don't think fines, penalties, or damage necessarily includes somebody going to jail over it. The court says, okay. Mr. Barina says, Your Honor, this is J.D. Barina again. It would be certainly not to be appropriate for this court to enjoin a criminal prosecution for any person for any reason. The court says, well, if what you're saying is that having sat in the sidelines and said nothing to me to indicate that there's anything illegal about what these people are going to do, that you want to reserve the right to put somebody in jail for doing rebalancing transaction that they will have no choice but to do under the order that I entered, then I disagree with you. I think the very suggestion offends me to no end. I cannot believe you would even take the position in front of me that you should have that right. It's preposterous. It's absolutely preposterous if you think something that illegally speaks. So comes out and says it's the Department of Justice insisting that they not be prohibited from criminally prosecution people for doing precisely what the judge's order would compel them to do, despite not having any raised coherent argument to any part of the order is illegal. Samil says right here, do judges always use sophisticated words? Why not ridiculous instead of preposterous? And he says, honestly, I think ludicrous, possibly even ferrical, also residual, asmin, outrageous, and unreasonable, maybe even astonishing or insane. And then James K. Filan did respond to this. Do you find it reasonable? So we're going to leave it there. So there's a lot of interesting stuff. So just more supplemental information regarding the Ripple versus the SEC case. This is going to help in their fair notice defense if it does go to trial or if the judge wants to use this in the fair notice defense. So hopefully we can see this end out and play out. And sorry, end or play out by the end of the week. If you guys can't invest with the big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys and have a good one.